Hey guys, welcome to Traditional Bow Hunting Wilderness Podcast. Jason Sam Kovac here. Today we're going to talk about knock tension on your bowstring. How should it be? And what made me think about this here, hey God, I was sneeze. There we go. What made me think about this was the fact that we had, Emerald was just down here from Bow Hunting Soul, and we were out hog hunting together. And he wanted to shoot one of my arrows, so he grabbed my arrow and he put it on there. And I remember saying, wow, your knock fits really loose. I'm a 3-under. I got to make sure it fits on here. I didn't think nothing of it. He shot that arrow. The arrow flew good, and it hit what he was looking at and that kind of stuff. But I remember that him saying that knock fit very loose, and I thought to myself, why does that? I wondered why anyway, and it's just kind of one of those things I put out of my mind. Well, then later that night, he killed a hog. He went back, that kind of thing. Well, then I went out 2 days later. I went out hunting myself, and I put my judo. I took my judo out like I always do, and I set it there, and I went to put it on a string. As soon as I put it on, I felt it was loose, like it didn't. Like you can hear this. Listen, okay? I got a little snap. You can hear it. Listen. Okay, little clink when I put mine on, and I didn't feel that. I immediately knew something was wrong. I immediately, when I put on, I knew something was wrong. Well, what had happened? Put this back in here just for the sake of having one in my pocket, but what I noticed was that on my knock, this had a crack in that knock. It had split, and I could see it in the middle. I couldn't see it on the sides yet, but I could see it through the center, right down inside the groove. I could see the little split right on there, and that knock was starting to split a little bit. And when I took that, you know, like I said, I took it off, and I was testing it and playing with it for a second. I was like, wow, that just, you know, it fit like this, okay? There was just no bite to it whatsoever, where it should be like this. Okay, we didn't have that. We had nothing. And so I immediately, like I said, stopped, looked at that knock. I'm like, what's going on? I looked down in there, and oh, there it is. There's a crack in there. Popped that knock off, put it in my pocket, threw it out, and then I put a new knock on when I got home. But it is important that you pay attention to that kind of stuff. You may not see physical evidence on the side, but the second I put that arrow on the string and I was ready to shoot it, I felt it right there, and I said, oh, we got a problem. Then I remembered hearing Emra say, hey, that fits really loose for me. You know, and like I said, so it was one of those kind of things that we knew that knock was bad. But that's something that you want to watch for on those. But how tight should it be? Okay, well, if we look at this string on here, if I put it on here, okay, there's nothing on there. Okay, it's not holding at all. It falls right off. Okay, that's kind of bad. You don't want that. Now, back 20 years ago, they had these things called Nock knocks and things like that that had no bite on them at all. They were just two teeth, but everybody shot split finger. If you're a split finger shooter, you can get away with a lot more because you are going to end up with, we'll leave the tab out of this, but you're going to have a finger above and a finger below that's going to kind of hold that there. Now, I don't. My top finger is not there. Mine's above it, so I don't get any tension on there, but you can see that you could actually hold that if you want to. If you're a 3-under shooter, not having any bite on there can be a problem. So you want to make sure you have enough tension to keep the arrow on the string, but it doesn't need to be too much that it's actually going to hinder you. How do you know how much that is? Well, we have the old rule, which basically said, put it on here, okay, and it should hang on its own, but yet it should fall with a tap, okay? What? Should fall with a, there, finally it went, okay? Should fall with a tap. Well, people are going to be slamming on their keyboard right now. Yours is too tight. Yours is too tight. Your knock's too tight. Your knock shouldn't do that. It should fall right off with a little tap, okay? Should fall off, and they're going to tell me in 350 different sentences how my arrow flight is off and how I'll never tune my bow and it's impossible for me to shoot a bullet hole, and everything is wrong because that arrow is too tight on that string, okay? It should be able to just take a slight tap and fall off. Okay, it should fall right off. That's what they're going to say. So, why do I put it that way? Because it makes me comfortable. That's the only reason. It makes me comfortable. Is it super tight? No, look at when I put this on here. I mean, look at, I can slide that up and down the string all day long. See, look at that. I mean, it slides up and down the serving, super easy. All that's holding that on there is the two little tabs on the inside of the knock. But I mean, look at that. It slides up and down like no big deal. But it's not coming off there, okay? I set that purposely. I have my tension set what makes me comfortable. That is the key takeaway here. Put it where it makes you comfortable. If you are a 3-under shooter, you probably want it this tight or maybe even tighter. You want to know that, especially if you're one of those guys that do all this weird stuff where you like draw from down here and all that stuff or whatever the case is, but you want that to hold that string so that you're not going to end up dry firing your bow, popping it, you know, go to pull it back and that arrow falls off like that. You don't want to have that happen. So you want that tension on that nock to be whatever makes you comfortable. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. Do not let them tell you it's too tight, that it's too loose, it's too anything. There is no written rule for this. Whatever makes you comfortable. The original thought process was that it should be able to free hang like this with a nock on there, and it should take a slight tap of a finger to knock that off. Boop, okay, like that is what you should be going for. If you want it tighter, make it tighter. If you want it looser, make it looser. All you have to do is change the serving thickness or how tight you wrap this serving. For me, I have this serving tool that I use all the time. I have one for my 16 strand strings, my Dacron D55s. I have another one for the D97 stuff that I used to shoot. They are both set for the proper tension for the serving size I use to give me exactly what I want. They are marked with a paint pen so that the bolt never moves. So they give me the exact same tension every time. When I change the spool, I know to tighten it up and realign those marks so that I get that same exact tension because I want them the same way every time. So but that's what you should be shooting for. Find that tension that makes you comfortable. Now, back in the day, if it was too loose, we used to bite the nocks, right, and bite them down tighter. They say that's bad and not to do that, or you could open them up with your teeth, say not to do that, that's bad. Some people will file that notch on the inside of there a little bit so that it bites a little looser. I say don't mess with your nocks, because then you got to do it to all arrows, and when you change your string, you probably got to do it again. My advice is to change your string serving. Less tension on it will make it fatter. You know what, less tension on your serving tool. More tension on it, making it tighter, will make it thinner. If you need to, go to a bigger or smaller diameter serving. Okay, every serving out there pretty much comes in multiple different thicknesses to give you that adjustability. But set this nock tension where it is comfortable for you. Don't let anybody give you any other crap for it or do anything different. Make it with what works for you and you are comfortable, and you're going to be a happy person. Thanks for watching.